Yes. Continue.
Give me a thumbs up when we're good. Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Fanco, the principal here at Thomas Elementary. Thank you for joining us today. This is our very first community connection for Thomas. So let me kind of just acclimate you a little bit to how this works. We're recording this session. The only thing that's being recorded is what we're presenting. You're not being recorded. Your questions and answers will go directly to us, and we will do our best to answer those questions today. And if not, we will find the answer to those questions and get those posted either on our Facebook, School Messenger, or web page, or contact you back if you give us your name and number. So I want to introduce you to my two wonderful partners in this work. I cannot do this work without them. So first we're going to start off with Ms. Narigian. She's one of our vice principals. So Ms. Narigian, if you would like to say hello to the community.
Hi, Thomas community. I'm Ms. Narigian, one of the vice principals at Thomas. This is the beginning of my 4th year being a part of the Thomas community. I'm excited to learn alongside you, our staff, and our students, as well as we travel this journey together through virtual learning. My supports that I am really connecting with is Kinder, 2nd and 4th grade. Those are the teams that I work alongside with this year, but I obviously work alongside with all of our teachers. So if your child's in one of those grades, I will be the administrator you would connect with, but you're also welcome to connect with me even if they're not in one of those grades. So I look forward to connecting with you in the future.
Thank you, Ms. Narigian. And next we have Ms. Perez, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Good afternoon, parents. I'm Mrs. Perez, and I'm starting my 2nd year here as vice principal at Thomas. I'm excited to start this journey with all of you as we venture through e-learning. We understand the needs of our community, and we want to assure you that our teachers, along with all of our additional support staff, are here to help you. So if you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And on another side note, I also speak Spanish. So buenas tardes a todos nuestros papás. Si necesitan algo, por favor, déjenos saber. Sé español y les puedo ayudar.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. And she is working with our early learning, that would be preschool TK, working with our 1st grade team and our 5th grade team. And I'm Mr. Fanco. I get the privilege of working with some of the best teachers and staff in Fresno. And thank you for your trust each and every day that you give in us to work with your children. Well, here we are. It is the 2020 school year. And did any of us ever think this is how we would start a school year? The answer to that is no. I've been in education now. This is my 24th or 25th year. I can't even remember. I've been in it so long. And this is the first time anything like this has happened. And I've been through quite a bit in education. So this is new literally for everyone. This is a pandemic and it's affecting everyone all over the world. And I don't need to tell you that. So we are so glad you are with us this year. How is this going to be different than it was March through June? Well, if you've been watching our superintendent, Bob Nelson, they've been doing a lot of announcements from March all the way up to when school started. And it's a little different because when March happened, we were all like, oh my goodness, now how are we going to do this? And really in survival mode, with many districts just trying to figure out how we get technology into people's hands, how do we make this thing happen. So a lot of meetings have been happening. Our Fresno Unified School Board has been working in partnership with our Bob Nelson, our superintendent, to come up with an option and an opportunity for you to do one of two things: either have your child start with e-learning or in-person learning. And then Fresno County got hit with COVID really hard right at the end of July. And so Fresno County and the state of California had closed all schools until we can get below a 7% infection rate for 14 days. So our goal, which our board has already passed, is that binary plan. So if we can get below that, we will offer those two options this year, which is continue with e-learning, or for those who want to mitigate risk, we will be open for school. So when that occurs, we will blast that out on Facebook, on School Messenger, I'm sure on the media. We'll be making phone calls, so you will know when that happens. So at this point, what we want to do is we want to stay connected. There's 4 C's that I shared with my entire staff, and then my administrative team is supporting our staff with, and our terrific teachers who have just been doing a wonderful job at doing those 4 C's, which is connecting. So this last week and this week, we are connecting with families and students, and we've been doing a phenomenal job, and you have been doing a phenomenal job in that partnership in connecting with your teachers. How has that been? We have a schedule, which we will talk about shortly. We have posted a very a schedule that is predictable. You know when they're going to be in class and when they're on break. So that is the clarity, which is the second C. We want to be very clear in the work that we're doing, and then we want to be concise, meaning that we don't want to add too much too soon. Because with e-learning, one of the challenges with e-learning, especially with e-learning our entire district, over 70,000 students, we're all at different comfortable spaces with technology and communication. So we want to bring everyone along, and we don't want to leave people behind. And then the 4th C is going to be content. We want to be content rich. Our kids, some of them have not been able to connect through the March through June until they got technology in their hands. So we know that there's going to be some gaps going on. Right now, all of our 1st through 6th grade students are taking a test called iReady. Many of your kids, if you have kids at Thomas here, have taken iReady. Last year it was a new test that we started. They take it 3 times in the year, and it determines where their independent level is, where they're struggling or gaps are, and where their challenges are. So when your child is in regular classroom with their teacher, they're going to be learning grade level content, which means it's going to be challenging for some of our kids. The gaps which they learn in iReady, the nice thing about iReady, your teacher's going to assign some iReady for them to practice, to work on those gaps every day so they can push and continue to grow and close some of those gaps. There will also be times during the day when your teacher will call your child and do a small group or one-on-one for those kids that are struggling or need a little extra push to push them on. And we call that Tier 2 and Tier 3 intervention time, and that occurs in the afternoon. Our teachers are meeting twice a week to do what we call professional learning communities, or PLCs, and that's so that they are getting together and sharing the best practices of what each other is learning and looking at data, who's attending, who's not attending, what's working, what's not working. So as we go along in this e-learning process, there's going to be bumps, there's going to be hiccups, there's going to be challenges. But thank you for your mercy, your grace. You've been so wonderful. And if you need us, we're here. I'm here every day. Our office is open from 7:30 to 4. You can reach us at calling 248-7270. Ms. Carla or Ms. Courtney will answer the phone, and we will get back to you. So if you're in need of something, your technology isn't working, you're having trouble connecting, you just need something, us to talk to because you're concerned about something, please give us a call. We will get in touch. You can also email us, and we'll talk more about that in my presentation. Today, I want to talk about 2 things, and that's staying safe online, responsible use of technology. This is our first community connection, and in community connection, we want to bring this news to you because when we're far apart like we are, we want to increase communication. We don't want to limit communication. So for those of you who've been getting on our Facebook page, we do Facebook Live at least once a week. The last couple of weeks, I've been doing like 3 or 4 a week because we've had a lot going on. We also do School Messenger. So if you're not getting on Facebook Live, check our Facebook page out. It's wonderful, and I'm forgetting our Facebook page right now. Can you jump on and help me out here with our Facebook page? I'm forgetting it all of a sudden.
It's It's Thomas Elementary School, FUSD.
Thank you, Thomas Elementary School at FUSD. So check that out. There's a lot of great stuff that we're posting on there. And then if you're not getting our school messengers, please make sure you're updating your parent portal. If you don't know your parent portal ID, contact our office and we can help you with that. All right, so let's go on with our staying safe online, responsible use of technology. If you can click to the next slide there, thank you. So we have updated our guideline for success. You guys are Tigers, and if you're new to the Tiger community, you'll hear this a lot from our kids. We are Tigers, and Tigers rise up and roar. That's right. So this is our eLearn ROAR. So we know that ROAR stands for respect for self and others, own your actions, act safely, and rise to the challenge. Our Safe and Civil team, which meets monthly, have helped us come up with an expansion of that for what that means when we're online. So what does it mean to respect yourself and others? We want to mute our microphone when others are speaking. So if you've been on Zoom or our new Teams that we're on, when you have all the microphones open, it gets really distracting and it's really hard to hear and focus. And for some of our kids who have special needs, that's really distracting for them as well. There's a little hand button on there where they can put their hand up literally virtually, or they could physically put their hand up if their screen is on and the teacher will call on them. And this is a big one we're going to talk about today when we later in the presentation, using kind words. In distance learning, what we've learned about things like Twitter and Facebook, people get really brave and brazen when they're in their home that they wouldn't do when they were face to face with a person. So they chat unkind things and unkind words. And so we want to encourage our kids to use kind words at all time, especially online, and then work in a quiet place while online. Now, if you're anything like my home, I have to, whenever I'm home online, I have to go sit in the closet practically because my daughter's learning, my son is learning, my wife is learning from home. And when I'm learning at home and my poor dog wants attention, it can get busy and crazy. So what we've done is we've set up dedicated places for learning. That's not the place to play. It's not the place to goof around or watch your movies. It's a place to learn. So if you haven't yet done that yet, it doesn't have to be fancy or anything, but just set that up with your child and say, this is your learning spot. When you're on, it's a learning spot. A great place to learn is to have like a little wall behind you or a bookshelf, kind of like how Mr. Fanko has here. That way we don't have people walking behind us that just got out of the shower, right? Or someone who just got off work, or mom's cooking in the kitchen. Or dad's cooking in the kitchen, either one. So we want to make sure that we're being mindful of what's on our screen in front and behind us. And then own your actions. We want our kids to be on time. So we have our schedule we're going to go through. Be an active learner. We don't want our kids just to turn on their screen and then go play video games all morning, okay? We want them to be an active learner and stay focused. And then to act safely, use the chat box appropriately. We talked about that earlier. Use those kind words. Share only school content. We'll talk about that when we get into Gaggle later, what that means if they don't do that. And then keep login and password yourself. Please remind your kids never to share that information. That's good for them to practice now. The nice thing about e-learning is we are preparing our children for an online society. Just remember when you were going to school, computers were nothing like they are now. And for some of us who were just in school recently and now have children, that wasn't that long ago, but it has come a long way just even then. Since I was in school, before computers, I know, I don't look that old, but I am, we didn't have those types of distractions. Our teachers were worried about being distracted looking out the window. Nowadays, it's the phone buzzing in our pocket. It's the Apple Watch going off. Our kids have more distractions than they ever have. And then rise to the challenge. Set goals for yourself. Help your child set goals. If they're struggling with reading, set a goal like, okay, you're struggling. Let's work on a sentence today. Let's work on a paragraph by the end of the week. Set goals for themselves. If they're struggling with addition, let's work on our addition with these numbers. Set reasonable goals for yourself and have your children do that too. Be prepared and ready to learn. Complete all work on time and ask good questions. So when we have our child ready to school, it's not a good place to set up their thing in their bed. If that's all we have, that's what we'll work with, but that's an easy temptation for kids to just lay down and go right back to sleep. So when it's learning time, we want them to have learning time. Okay, thank you. I see a question that come up or just a statement, and I'm going to share that. It says, large class instruction has been difficult for my child to sit and listen. You're exactly right. Are we allowed to mirrorcast or share screen to other devices such as our family room or TV? You can do that, yes. I'm not going to control what you do in your house, but we do ask that you let your child, at times, especially if the teacher is calling on them, struggle with the content. Academic struggle is what we call that. And our attention as a parent is because we love our kids. We want to jump right in and help them like, oh, that's the answer, that's the answer. But if we're telling them the answer, they're not thinking. That wheel in there is not working and it's not helping them. So Great comment, great question. Whatever it takes for your child to learn best, we want them to do that, because we also have students with special needs who need fidgets or things like that. Whatever it takes for your child to focus and be a participant, you know your child best. You are their best first teacher. And we are asking and needing your help to partner in this work as we eLearn. We know that eLearn is not best for everybody, but right now we don't have a choice to learn any other way until we are able to do our binary system of coming back in place. So thank you for your work and thank you for that question. Okay, Ms. Perez, thank you. So this is our webpage. If you haven't been to our webpage, it's go.fresnou.org/Thomas. We update it with lots of great things. There's our back to school video. If you haven't watched it, please come check it out. And that young little girl that's on there, if you click on that, that'll take you to all of the our strategic plan for reopening schools and what our district is doing for a plan. And if you'll click on the next page there, oh wait, before you do that, I'm sorry. On the left there, you see where it says about. If you click on that about, that will open up a drop-down menu that says staff directory. In that staff directory is literally my entire staff's emails. If you need to find a teacher's email, please click on that, or one of our emails, please click on that, and then I'll take you. Go ahead and go to that next page. This is further on down the page. This is where the calendar I was talking about of upcoming things, district news, what's going in our district, and that little news bar right there in the middle are some helpful things, shortcuts to get your kid to where they need to go. Khan Academy, those are lessons that are taught by teachers on specific content areas. So if your child needs help with math specifically, there's some great math lessons and teaching in there. And many of us haven't been, especially as we get older, those lessons go all the way up into high school. So if you have a junior high or high school or even an older kid and you're like, oh my gosh, it's been a while since I've been in pre-algebra, you can find the grade and the standard they're working on, and there's videos, worksheets to help you understand or help your child understand what's on there. Britannica School, that's the Encyclopedia Britannica online. If your child has to do a report or find information, that's an online resource for you as well. Or your child just likes to learn things, that's a fun thing for them to do. And Clever is the area that the one-stop shop that has all of our apps on it. Click on it, it'll take you there. And then the little arrows, there's some other great things over there. And then announcements, that's where we're putting all our new announcements. So if your child needs an e-device, you'll click on that. I'll show you that in a second. 5 things to know to start school online. That's a great, helpful thing. A week at a glance. I'll talk about that in a second. Where to find lesson plans if your kid lost it and you forgot what they're supposed to do this week or what they're learning because you're busy working. So let's go to the next slide there. So it's a great page. Check it out. Oh, Ms. Perez, can you see the question in Spanish and help me with that?
Yes. So this parent is saying she'd like to mention that if we can make sure that students aren't sending messages to one another, because it becomes a distraction.
Thank you. We're going to talk about that later in my presentation. So thank you. Muchas gracias. Muchísimas gracias for that question. Thank you. And then Mrs. Let's see, love my new class. Oh, that's from Miss Baca. She's online. She loves her new class. They have done such a great job. And you know what? So many of my teachers have just said, I love my kids. They're so patient. And my parents, they've been so helpful. So parents, you get a standing ovation from us today, and kids doing a great job. So Mom, we're going to talk about the online thing in just a moment. I forgot to mention at the beginning of this that there's a translation service on our live page. So if you are a Spanish speaker or Hmong, if you click on that, it live translates as I'm talking. So it's called Google Translate, or it's in the Microsoft Teams, it translates live. When you clicked on that request for a device, this is the form that you fill out for your child. If your child already has a device, they will be sending devices to all students who don't have one first, and then they will go back to the students who need one. So if you need repair, please contact our office, because our 457-3939 number, it's almost impossible to get a hold of that lately because their call volume is so high every day. So please feel free to call us if you need help. I'm here every day. I've walked many teachers and parents and students through the basics of how to navigate through their tablet or laptop. So please call us if you need that. Thank you. And then these are our eLearn documents. So on our webpage, if you click on the week at a glance and pick your child's grade, it will have the lesson plans in there for the weekly glance, and it'll show what they're learning for that week. Some of our teams have put hyperlinks on there, so if they're in blue, you click on it, it will open that up, and you will be able to click on that eLearn weekly lesson. I think it'll take us to a web page there, and I'll show you what one looks like. Yeah, can you click on that? And I think it opens up a web page for us. If not, we'll move on.
It does, Matt, but I have to put it under my content, and it's...
Oh, okay, that's okay. We'll switch that. But trust me, go there, try it. It works great. We'll move on to the next slide. I want to show you what one of those looks like. Our teachers have worked really hard on that. This is our daily schedule. If you haven't seen it, again, to go to our webpage, there's a link under announcements on daily schedule. So you can put it on the refrigerator. We've printed ours out and put it on my son's desk, so he knows where he's supposed to be, and my daughter, who's my older daughter, who's helping my son, so he knows where we're supposed to be and when he's supposed to be somewhere, so he can plan out his recess breaks. Okay, excellent. That's TK in kindergarten. We also have one for 1st through 6th grade as well on there. We're doing our grab and go meals every day from 7 to 9. And again, if you have questions, please call our office. It says from 8 to 4, but we're here 7:30 to 4, so please call us or email us, please. All right. We're in 2nd week of school, and I still need a tablet, and my daughter ordered one last week. Okay, would you contact our office, 248-7270? Give us your name and number, and we'll see what we can do for you. Thank you. eLearn at my school. Thank you for putting that. We put one too many zeros in there, Ms. Perez. It's 248-7270. So it's 248-7270 is our number. She's going to fix that in just a second. Okay, there we go. 248-7270. Thank you, Ms. Perez. On our webpage, you'll see that little link that says eLearn to my school. It'll open up our district webpage. There's lots of great little resources in there that you can use for your child preschool to grade 6, grade 7 to 12. Have any of our parents been watching our Valley PBS lessons online in the morning? From 8 to 9, we're encouraging all of our preschool through 3rd grade students and parents to watch that. It's a great way to start their morning off in learning. The website is valleypbs.org. And if any of our parents have attended our Valley PBS parenting classes here at school, they're some of our most popular ones we do. They do a lot of make it, take it. And these are taught by our very own Fresno Unified teachers. In fact, 2 of the teachers on there are former Thomas teachers. So we have Thomas living on in Valley PBS now. So visit eLearn. Okay, we're going to move on here. Thank you. And thank you for your great questions and comments, parents. eLearn at school, this is our district thing about responsible use of guidelines. Be kind, share positive messages. Do not take screenshots of others. Do not post pictures of other people. Do not use online platforms to bully or harass others. And we support others. This is at Thomas, we have themes that we've had one, be kind. This year's theme is you got a friend in me, and friend stands for stuff. We're going to share that at our community gathering next Friday online. So we look forward to sharing that with you, about being a friend. Our kids constantly need to be reminded how to be responsible online and how to be nice. And it's hard when we see adults online not being nice or being kind. So they see that example, unfortunately, all over the world. But we're going to work on that because we are Thomas Tigers, and we're going to rise up and roar and be better. Teams safety. So many of you have seen Teams. Microsoft Teams is the thing we use, and you know, over last year some of our teachers used Zoom, and if you've been watching the news, Zoom has been having a lot of trouble in Clovis Unified this year because it's crashed twice already, just because of the high volume. So Teams is a little bit more stable, and it also once we learn it, I know it's all new right now, but once we learn it, it's a very valuable tool for your child because these are things they're using in the professional world. They're also using in college and high school. So it really gives your child an edge up on how to use PowerPoint, Word, Stream, Excel. So your child's going to be very knowledgeable when they leave Thomas on how to use that. So team safety, when they're on Teams, some of you already noticed, and one of our parents mentioned about being nice. about chatting online and not using nice words. You are exactly right. Gaggle is a system that we are using, and I'm going to talk more about that. Our student safety with eLearn, students' health and well-being remain our top priority here at Thomas and in Fresno Unified, especially when students are not physically present on campus. Much like the supports and safety practices provided when they're on campus, it's imperative that those same resources are available to students. In this new world of distance learning, as an added safety precaution, Fresno Unified has partnered with Gaggle to add additional safeguards while students are online using Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Office 365 email, and OneDrive. Gaggle uses key phrases and technology to identify inappropriate content, even situations that might lead to self-harm. Gaggle service follows all state and federal laws protecting student privacy. Gaggle staff review and, where appropriate, notify the school administrator, that would be me, Ms. Perez, or Ms. Narigian, to provide necessary supports. If a school administrator is unavailable, Gaggle will contact local public safety, that would be police or county mental health, in life-threatening situations. School administrators provide responsive supports for students' well-being and their continued growth. And you know, I've already had 4 Gaggles this week. Fortunately, they were all just kids playing around, but we take it very seriously. So go ahead and turn that there for us. So who is Gaggle? Gaggle analyzes student contact on school provided email and drive accounts through one, machine learning technology. They have a proprietary, which means they own it, anti-pornography scanner. So if kids are trying to look at things they shouldn't be looking at during the day, like pornography, that'll pop up, and in-house team and trained safety professionals. Okay, go ahead and turn that. And so this is kids in crisis. So this are the most common incident types that pop up on Gaggle in schools. Suicide and self-harm. Violence towards others is the second. The third is nudity and sexual content. The third is harassment of other students, and then drugs and alcohol. Now, as you look at that, you say, oh my goodness, in elementary that is? If you go to the next slide, you'll see actually where it really happens a lot is middle school and high school. Elementary is a very small part of it, but I can guarantee you, I talked to my middle school principals and our high school principals, and yeah, they are getting inundated by it. So our kids' safety is our #1 priority. So since we can't be with them in person during school, we want to know that they're being safe. So when kids are being inappropriate online, it pops up on my screen and I contact, or one of my vice principals contact those parents and let them know if they continue, they will no longer be allowed to participate in e-learning. So we take it very seriously, just like we would in school. We follow all of ed code, education code, and suspension and expulsion is still a possibility during eLearn. The way our threats are tagged to us, if it's a possible student situation, it sends it to us. That's red. That goes straight to me as the principal. If it's questionable content, that comes to us in an email and we can investigate it. If it's a violation, again, that comes to us in email, we can contact the teacher and the parent to let them know they're not following our acceptable use policy and they could be at risk for losing their eLearn opportunity. All right, we'll go on to our next slide here. So that is what I had planned today for community, because that's a lot of information. We want to give you a lot of information, but we don't want to go on too long or too short. Next week, we're going to be talking about annual Title I parent meeting. We receive monies from the federal government through Title I, and we want to talk to you about how we help our students and parents, because that's a condition of Title I at Thomas. If you do need to contact us again, remember our number is 248-7270, and that's Monday through Friday while school's in session from 7:30 to 4. If we're not, the easiest way to email that goes directly to me or any of our administrators or office staff is thomaselementary@fresnounified.org. If you want to email one of your teachers, go to our webpage, the About School Directory, and you can email directly to an individual. Okay, I'm going to stay on for any more questions for a couple more minutes. If not, that's the end of our presentation today. Thank you so much for joining us. And to all of our parents who are working and are going to join this recording later on tonight, thank you for taking the opportunity to come and view this. And thank you for partnering with us in this very important work here at Thomas. We love being at Thomas. We love the Thomas community. We love our parents and our students. We miss you terribly, and a big smile is on our face every time we see you at Grab and Go or driving by. We love you. We miss you. We want you to be safe and well. Call us, contact us if you need us. God bless, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. I will stay on for any other questions. If you don't have any other questions, please feel free to leave the meeting or quit the meeting, and we'll see you guys at our next class meeting. If you're still on, there is no question that is that we're not going to answer. If you have a question or a burning thing that you always wanted to know, let us know. Thank you, Miss Lee, for joining us tonight. Another one of our fabulous third grade teachers who joined us tonight. We had Miss Baca and Miss Lee. I love it when our staff jumps in and joins us. Thank you. Okay, just wanted to give a shout out to our TK Room 1. Yes, thank you. This is Miss Falls. She's one of our TK paraprofessionals. She wants to give a shout out to all of our Room 1 students and families. Their families have been so supportive with everything. Thank you, Miss Falls. We appreciate that and all that you do for our kids here at Thomas. All right, okay, I ordered a hotspot. When will I get it? Great question. Would you do me a favor? Would you contact our office so we can get your name, or you can email us so we can look into that? FedEx is sending those. It all depends really when you ordered it. It takes 7 to 10 business days to arrive. And then when you get your hotspot, if you need help setting up, please contact us. If it's been longer than 7 or 10 days, please contact our office and we will get your name and see if we can get that answered for you in a very timely manner. Okay? Great question. Thank you. All right, Ms. Perez, I don't see any other questions. If there are any, can one of you two stay on for just a little bit more? I have to jump to my next meeting. All right, Tigers, love you guys. Take care. Ms. Perez, we'll talk about how to record it and upload it later, okay?
We are down to 6 attendees. If you do not have any questions, please go ahead and click the button leave, and then that way we know whether or not to stay on for a few more minutes. Any questions, just drop them in the chat. Si tienen alguna pregunta, por favor, escríbenlo en el chat. All right. All right, Tiger community, thank you so much for coming out.